I seen that. Know what I'm talking about. Know what Texas boy, little boy, in the line, yeah. Mm. What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do on the late night shit. We on the late night shit. We on the late night shit. Salute to all y'all, man.
Hey, know what I'm saying? For real though. Welcome to the city where it just don't stop. Got the slab making statements in the parking lot. Real diamonds just dance, they on pop lock. Have you ever got head in a drop top?
Like damn, peanut butter inside paint job jam. Got a nigga dodging these hoes like Ram. Tax-free street money, fuck Uncle Sam. Goddamn.
Hey, about to kill the street, peeling the meat up off the bowl. They know we bring that heat, knocking the creases up out your clothes. Got glass on the toes, the slab Cinderella. Bitch got her shit together if she's sitting on my leather. Getting cheddar, extra cheese like nachos. Inside book, the same color as pot roast. Fresh about the oven, see soft like a muffin. Swang on the law, I'm taking out before he cuff me. I'm Rick James, pimping the grain, tipping the rain. In and out like crochet braids, switching the lane. And I ain't trying to explain. I said what I said, nigga. Stay where you at if you ain't trying to get no bread, nigga. Welcome to the city where it just don't stop. Got the slab making statements in the parking lot. Real diamonds just dance, they on pop lock. Have you ever got head in a drop top?
Like damn, peanut butter inside paint job jam. Got a nigga dodging these hoes like Ram. Tax-free street money, fuck Uncle Sam. Goddamn, I can't stand a hoe nigga who got hoe ways. Can't know that H-Town pussy gon' hit like cocaine. Dad, I got that pops, I got that bang bang. I'm from Atlanta, hoe, I'll talk you out your wedding ring. Nah, for real, come on. Show me what that pussy really pop like. Show me you a freak up at the stoplight. Show me that coochie drip drop. With them with the stick, it's like a mob. 24, 25, bitch, come on and slide. You not my main, you not my hoe, bitch, you're throwing in my side. Now you gotta watch these niggas cause they hoes too. Swinging on them, crash a nigga like Pro Tools. James.
Welcome to the city where it just don't stop. Got the slab making statements in the parking lot. Real diamonds just dance, they on pop lock. Have you ever got head in a drop top?
Like damn, peanut butter inside paint job jam. Got a nigga dodging these hoes like Ram. Tax-free street money, fuck Uncle Sam. Goddamn.
Salute to all, man. What y'all on today, man? What are y'all on today? What are y'all on today, man? Salute to everybody, man. I'm just gonna do a little reaction. I'm gonna rewatch this, what's the name? Rewatch this, This Hoover Gang indictment shit. I got the paperwork now. This shit crazy. See what else? Something else I wanted to look at too. See what Johnny did. Nah, man, it was that. He had them niggas up on the thumbnail, like they was police or something. He said.
YouTube. So he can't yell and talk on YouTube at night? Yeah, she say, all you gotta do is quit acting like you fucking with all these bitches on here and you can come home. Embarrassing me. You know what I'm saying? I get embarrassed all the time. He do this shit every other day. Now he's doing it with make you mine. You're mine. I can do it.
God damn, that's supposed to be Mink up there?
I'm just a weirdo. Like, you're mine. You're mine. But does that work eventually? Sometimes you just walk up to him.
That's crazy, dog.
Mine in a drunken rant. You know what I learned? I'm just getting started. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. You know what I learned? Get started. I learned that you's a real dope fiend. You don't want to have no stable foundation or no stable family. You want to sleep in your truck and smoke dope. Dude.
This app pays your bills now and you pay back later. Turn big bills into 4 manageable payments. Plus, it can even build credit history or lower the cost of bills without switching providers. Deferred has paid over $900,000 everyday bills. Don't wait. Get control of your bills with Deferred.
I was gonna run this shit, but I ain't gonna run it. I want to listen to what this nigga saying.
You know the man really supposed to have all the life for a man.
Fairfax, you thinking?
You just said Fairfax.
That's where he dropped out of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get y'all right. I ain't gonna do y'all like that, man. Get y'all right. Hold on, let me find it real fast, y'all. We're gonna go through this goddamn Hoover shit. We're gonna go through this shit real fast, man.
As well as having access to firearms. Now, what players participating in the game on field? Rap News Street Politics, the best hood channel on YouTube, back with the Westside Hoovers, facing some nasty allegations set forth by the federal government in the RICO indictment that initially dropped in August of 2025. And it's progressed to a superseding indictment that was just released July 1st, 2026. Now, this superseding indictment has introduced some dirty players into the game. 7 new defendants to go along with the original 11 defendants charged. And 5 of the 7 are documented members of Westside Hoovers. Now, we have to warn you, the allegations in this federal paperwork are disturbing.
Yes, I want y'all to know that this is for educational purposes. This is not for me to glorify none of the crimes that are happening right now. This is for educational purpose to enlighten people about the situation that's going on, y'all.
Viewer discretion is advised. It's over 45 victims in this case, with 13 of them being minors. If you thought that initial indictment was crazy, the feds have added an additional 325 overt acts to make a total of 769 crimes or conspiracies to prove this RICO case. It's a man in this case who met a 14-year-old at a party, told her he was also 14 when he was actually 21. He took her back to his house, and when she woke up the next morning, she was locked and trapped into his bedroom. It's another individual on this case who bit off a young lady's cheek, gave her a perk, and sent her to the hospital. We got more tattoo branding, and we got some dirty players in here that like to teach each other how to deal with minors, along with having explicit relations with a minor, as well as producing explicit child exploitation material. But we also got some veterans from the last indictment racking up new charges. A Hobbs Act robbery, where they ran into the lens crafters in Beverly Hills, striking for $150,000 in designer sunglasses. And the feds claimed this superseding indictment was already in motion 2 days after they got on the Lady Duck, all the way back in 2021, when the Hoovers dropped a music video on YouTube. But before we get started, we got the surveillance images directly from the Young and Hefe crime scene, along with the investigatory allegations. Y'all make sure y'all tap that member.
Their whole model depends on it. Base Power Company is built different. We lock in a rate below market average, and we guarantee
that membership. Now, the Hoovers have definitely been in the spotlight over the past year. Last year with the initial indictment dropping, again last year with the murder of Westside 80 bands, multiple members from Hoover going down for that. Another murder where Mac 80 was killed, and multiple members of Hoover going down for that homicide as well. And now the superseding indictment is dropped. And to go along with the new overt acts, the feds have put 8 new charges on the Westside Hoovers. Attempted trafficking of a minor, benefiting from trafficking, use of an interstate facility to aid racketeering, promotional money laundering, the Hobbs Act robbery, structuring transactions to evade reporting, and money laundering to avoid transaction reporting requirements. But along with the Hoovers, we do see one-off indictments, one of which involving a member of Santana Block Compton Crip, a member that likes to use force when dealing with minors, and another individual from 6 Deuce East Coast Crip who was caught up because he was dealing with minors that were also dealing with the Hoovers. Now, just like the first indictment, the FBI's best friend in this investigation was Instagram. They looked through every defendant's Instagram account, specifically looking for 2 things. They wanted to see everybody showing money, coupled with the captions and DMs, to prove that they were profiting from trafficking. They also wanted to see everybody showing guns, to prove that they use force and violence to protect the enterprise, which is the Hoover Criminal Gang. And they also focused on the same stronghold that they claim the Hoovers used to operate out of, the House of Hotties. For everybody that's not familiar, House of Hotties is a lingerie store off Fig in Manchester in the Hoovers. The FBI claims that the Hoovers have the owners and managers in position to help them traffic women in the Fig corridor. They can contact them at any time and get whatever they need out of the House of Hotties. And in turn, they protect the House of Hotties. But what the FBI also found is that the House of Hotties Cash App was also used to take trafficking proceeds, thus strengthening the bond between the organization and this place of business. But we gotta rewind the clock back to October 2025, 2 months after the initial indictment dropped in the Hoovers. The feds bring a dirty player off the bench, Cameron Lockett, who also goes by Jankee. On October 28, 2025, a federal search warrant is issued to Jankee's Instagram account, He So Paid. The FBI initially got the search warrant to look for human smuggling, and when they encountered evidence, they sought what's called a rollback warrant. And the rollback warrant allowed them to look for human smuggling within the deleted data of Jankee's Instagram account. And while they were trying to prove that he was in the human smuggling, they then get a rollback warrant to look for firearms trafficking. And by December 22nd of 2025, they not only have had full access to Jankee's Instagram account, but they also had search warrants for 4 of his iCloud accounts. But this wasn't the FBI's introduction to Jankee. Just like all the other new defendants in this indictment, Jankee was involved with the original 11 defendants, and they notated his communications with a familiar player, Jared Evans, also known as J Money from 11 Deuce Hoop. But the FBI alleges that the beginning for Jankee started on February 25th, 2023, when he attempted to recruit victim 31, who was a 17-year-old girl at the time. Through Instagram messaging on February 25th, 2023, Jankee reached out to this 17-year-old girl and offered her some weed. A week and a half later, on March 8th, 2023, he hit up this little girl again, and she made it very clear to him that she was only 17. He told her she was gorgeous and said that she could make up to 10 racks a night. He told her that she'd live a better life if she let him guide her. And he wanted to take her around the country.
Crazy, yeah.
When the little girl gave some pushback to Jankee, he pressed harder. He promised to teach and elevate her. And again, she reminded him that she was a minor and that she was scared. Jankee pressed back, said she can trust him, and told her he would get her a fake ID. He also promised not to beat on her as long as she obeyed him. And in this same text exchange, she told Jankee she didn't want to start playing ball with him until she was 18 years old. He wanted her to start immediately and asked her to send some explicit pics. And on March 24th, 2023, she sent the child exploitation material to his DMs, and Jankee made some nasty comments in regards to these child pictures. He also told her that it was now time for them to participate in intimate relations and said he would get a hotel. And he also asked her to make harmful videos and continue to entice her with drugs. Now at the same time, he was engaging in trafficking with an of-age female who's referred to as Victim 32 in the paperwork. On October 18th of 2023, through DM, he berated her for performing acts without protection. He got her in her car and started to spit on her. Some of the spit landed on the glass, and he instructed her to clean his spit up with her mouth because she was already dirty for not using protection.
What the fuck?
Now, as time went on, Jankee went on to have another
salute,
female
Hypnotic
known as
Touch.
Victim 41.
Salute, this is crazy. Salute everybody, salute. I'm just not seeing all y'all messages. Thank y'all. Salute.
18-year-old female. And on this day, this is when he kicked her in her back and he bit off a chunk of her cheek.
This is a reaction video to the weak ass gang members in California called themselves pimping on minors. They caught their ass a RICO case playing with them little kids out there trying to put them kids on Big Street in California. This the second one. Last summer they just did the same thing again on the strip, and they just did it again this summer. It's crazy how like them fools thought it was over. What they thought it was over, like they could still be out there or something, man. Man, come on, man. This is sick.
Cheek in the middle of their interaction. He gave her a Percocet and sent her to the hospital. While she was at the hospital, he began to text her saying that they were both wrong and that he would marry her and save money for the both.
Bro, this is a minor. He's talking to a minor that he's pimping on, talking about he's gonna marry her just so she can keep making money from him after he abused her. So you telling me this is a minor, bro? Like, you telling me that these are the mind games that these guys be playing with these little girls to try to get them to do that shit for them? It's crazy work, y'all. It's crazy work. It's crazy work, y'all.
Both of them. Now, this is one point that the feds focused on. Exactly how everybody in this indictment was using manipulation tactics and love bombing coupled with aggression to keep these ladies down on the blade and on their team. Jankee goes on to tell Victim 41 while she's in the hospital that he can't come to the hospital because he'll be going to jail. He told her to lie to the police and say that her sister bit her face during a fight. He also told her to delete his number and all the messages out his phone. And on this same day, Jankee sent the picture of Victim 41's cheek to J Money from 11 Deuce. Now, a week before this incident where he bit this girl's cheek, November 15, 2024, he was again in communication with J Money. And this is where he started to become a familiar face to the FBI. Via Instagram, Jankee and J Money were discussing the condition of various blades, trying to determine which one was the most lucrative. And J Money said that he was going up to Bakersfield to set his people down. Jankee inserts himself and says that he'll go to Bakersfield too, and he'll put some money on a rental truck. And as the feds start going through J Money and Jankee's communications, they find that Jankee is somewhat leaning on J Money for experience. They notated a conversation between them where Jankee asked J Money for pimp advice, and they both spoke about taking their talents to San Bernardino because the police were hot on Fig and it was messing their money up. But after love bombing Victim 41 while she was in the hospital getting her cheek treated, she's released, and Jankee convinces her to brand his name on her, and she goes and gets Jankee tattooed on her lower back. And he was caught in communication telling her now that she's branded, not to ever betray him. Now, while the feds have...
So you telling me, and in the last story I went last summer, that's how them niggas was able to, like, find out who the girls was, like, who they alleged P's was, because them niggas tagged the girls, even if they was minors, bro. These niggas tagging it like that's my property and they minors, bro. Like, that's some weird shit to me, dog. That's some sick ass shit.
Have glued Jankee to the trafficking allegations in this indictment. They turned their focus on his money. They noted that he changed his Cash App name from his real name, Cameron Lockett, to his Instagram handle, He's So Greedy. They notate many different conversations that he's having with his victims about how to send money and how much to send in at one time. They traced all his paper going back to an Altura credit union account linked to the Cash App. And the crazy part about Jankee, June of 2026, just last month, right before the superseding indictment dropped, Jankee has been on Instagram. His Altura credit union debit card is shown on Instagram. He's shown taking money proceeds.
You see how you see how they be so capped to show people that they doing this shit when they don't know this shit can get you a motherfucking life sentence, nigga. Like, let me go to Instagram and show me getting some money out of the girl hand, and, let me show you my debit card. Boy, they taking pictures. Them feds take pictures of all that shit, dog. You in the picture with firearms, man, they own all that shit, dog. All that shit, because y'all gang members.
On Instagram.
That's why I said, I be feeling like the wrong thing to do. Like, it's two different sports that y'all playing. Gang banging is a sport. Pimping is a sport. I think y'all messed up when y'all mixed them, because y'all got gang enhancements. Like, when y'all mix that shit with that gang shit, dog, and them enhancements, bro, they gonna send y'all ass up there for 25, 30 years, bro. Why the prostitute, and I don't mean this in no messed up way, the prostitute don't even get no time. She gonna be right back on Figueroa.
Indictment. He wasn't caring about what he was displaying on social media. But this is how the feds have also brought money laundering and concealment charges against Jankee. But to top it off, they allege Jankee is in firearms trafficking as well. He's seen on Instagram holding guns, and his communications with Jorge Melendez, also known as Crimstyle, from 59 Hoover, back on March 26, 2023, where he was offering to sell Crimstyle a gun for $700, bought the next dirty player into the fold, Crimstyle from 59. Now, Crimstyle is somebody that is synonymous with 59. He's one of the faces in that section of Denver and 59. He's seen it all day hood days, and the feds start to take note of him again all the way back in 2023. Now, his first instance was in March of that year, but what fully tied him in was his communications with one of the original 11 defendants that went down in last year's indictment, Avery Amako, also known as Hands. Early in the feds' investigation, Crimstyle and Hands participated in the drug trafficking allegation with those Percocet pills by the end of 2023. The feds counted at least 9 interactions where Crimstyle was attempting to procure some Percocet pills from Hands. And the feds also got a front row seat in late 2023 when Crimstyle and another vet, Matthew Brooks, also known as Vermont Star, in the first indictment, had an argument over proceeds when two of their workers were catching dates together. But the real nasty allegations started for Crimstyle in January of 2024.
Listen to this shit.
If you manage a WordPress website,
listen to this shit, y'all gonna trip out off this
situation yet. This is the video to watch. Today.
And this is when he was involved with a 14-year-old girl. And everything blew up when she met an undercover officer on Fig. So on January 26, 2024, LAPD was sitting back on Fig, and they came across who the paperwork refers to as Victim 33, a 14-year-old girl wearing a red mesh lingerie bodysuit, exposing her top half and her bottom half with a youthful appearance. When the undercover officers engaged this little girl, she offered her services for $80 on the blade. And of course, she goes straight down. When officers figure out that she's 14 years old, they sit her in the room and she starts making statements. She stated that her trafficker's name was Jorge, also known as Crimstyle from Hoover. She stated that she just met Crimstyle 3 weeks prior to this incident at a party. She went on to state that Crimstyle told her he himself was also 14, but he was in fact 21.
So you telling me that you had to have that girl on call so bad that you would tell her that you 14 and she 14 and you believed it, dog? I mean, and she believed it, and you sick as hell. Like even at 21, you still sick, bro. Sick. You need the money that bad, boy. Y'all some roach ass niggas, man.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Years old at the time of their interaction. This 14-year-old girl willingly left the party with Crimstyle, went back to his house, and engaged in some inappropriate acts at his crib. The following morning, she wakes up and attempts to walk out his bedroom when she realized that the door was locked from the outside. Shortly after, Crimstyle comes back to his house with some lingerie and told her she was going to work for him on feed. He instructed her that she couldn't come back.
Them niggas build. They even make doors where you can only lock them from the inside. Damn, he locked the girl in the goddamn house. That's crazy.
With nothing less than $1,000. And this is when victim 33 started to participate in the lifestyle. She stated that on her first night, she came back with $800, short of that $1,000, and he pushed her down a set of stairs. He began to punch on her, kick her, and hit her in her upper torso, and moved to grabbing her hair and pulling her into the house. 2 days before LAPD caught her on the blade, she said he wrapped his Rolex around his fist and punched her in the face with it. She said Crimstyle provided her with different type of drugs. And she also stated that there was an additional 17-year-old girl that he was dealing with, who the 14-year-old identified as a girl named Barbie. She said the 17-year-old also worked for Crimstyle until he whooped on her and dropped her off in the projects for allegedly lying about her age and stealing some weed from Crimstyle. And all the way back on January 26th of 2024, he was arrested for human trafficking of a minor. When they set him in that room, he was Mirandized. He stated he didn't know the 14-year-old and that he was not her representation on the blade. But then he goes on to make some crazy statements. He said he was assisting his friend with the initials of SC, who was from 9 Deuce Swans on the east side. He said that this individual was named Nightmare from Swans. He told police that that was the 14-year-old's representation, and he was only helping give her a ride to Fig. Now, with all that talking Crimstyle did in that room, you know he made it out, but not before police took his phone. But now that he's back on the street, he got some new feet in what the paperwork alleges is victim 36. All while he was dealing with this 14-year-old and 17-year-old girl.
Bro, do y'all realize it? That, dog, every one of them girls, dog, they could be a separate life sentence, bro, or a separate 20 or 25. Every one of them girls, bro, that snitched on you. That's why I be too scared to do that shit, dog, because any given day, them girls can tap out on you, boy, and they go to the police, boy, you cooked. They could be lying on you, and you still cooked.
Had an of-age woman that he was sending on Fig. Again, just like everybody else, he secured her off of Instagram and landed an in-person meetup. When he got with her in person, he tried to lace her up and develop her sticky fingers by robbing her customers. And he set the same quota for her, $1,000 a day, and also set her down in different motels, including the Hoover Motel. The paperwork alleges that he would track her location through Find My iPhone and required her to take her proceeds back to his house and leave it in a shoebox every night she was done. But Crimstyle's females kept running into the police, and on March 6, 2024, after he's released on them human trafficking charges, the police are on 70th in Denver, in the Menlos, not far from the 5-9 Hoovers. As they're patrolling, they're seeing victim 36 wearing blue lingerie with her body exposed. And they watch a silver Mercedes quickly pull up to the curb, and they watch her jump into the back seat. The police then proceed to pull the Mercedes over, and Crimstyle is driving. In the passenger seat is another dude from 5-9, and another addition to this federal indictment, Mauricio Aluafranco, also known as SA Face. The Mercedes is impounded due to none of them having a driver's license. And upon a vehicle search, they find feminine hygiene products, condoms, and a motel key for the El Rancho Motel off San Pedro. Now, due to this being a human trafficking investigation as the reason for this stop, they take that motel key and pay the manager a visit over at El Rancho. When they check the file, they find out Crimstyle was the one that rented the room. And with that fact, they sit down victim 36 in an interrogation room. She goes on to state that she met Crimstyle on Instagram February of that year, 2024. She stated that she left her job and her home to be with him. She admitted to the police that she was a street worker. At this time, Crimstyle had also been in and out of a sober living facility, and on the weekends, he would be able to come home. She said she was on automatic, making sure she bought the money back regardless of whether he was there or not. And in March 2024, he started to become physical with her. It got to the point where he beat her so bad, she said that she wasn't able to catch dates. So he changed his methods due to previously leaving bruises on her thighs. Instead, she claimed he would just strangle her until she lost consciousness. And she described one beating where she claims that he left her face deformed. Now, if her statements weren't enough in that room, she showed detectives a tattoo on her ass with the branding, Crimstyle. She also went on to describe a wild event when Crimstyle had her phone and asked her to help him with mobile banking. When she got her phone back, she immediately tapped the Uber to escape. This is when Crimstyle FaceTimed her and showed her her grandfather outside of his house, and he threatened to jump out on her grandfather if she didn't get back right. Now, shortly after the initial indictment dropped, January 14, 2026, a federal search warrant was wrote for Crimstyle's Instagram, Walk 'Em Down. At the time of us putting this video together, that Instagram is still up, and it still shows him flashing the same money that the FBI used in their indictment. It also showed him and SA Face spray painting, further corroborating the gang allegation. And last month, June 1st, 2026, the cell phone that was confiscated from him all the way back from his January 2024 arrest, where he went down for human trafficking of the 14-year-old, federal agents wrote a warrant for that device. And inside it, they found a fight between the 17-year-old Barbie that he dropped off in the projects and the 14-year-old that he was trafficking at the time of that arrest in 2024. Now again, they're also putting the drug trafficking on Crimstyle. Multiple communications of him dealing various amount of drugs. And they also speak about him having access to firearms as well. Now with the 50s officially being hot, multiple people in this indictment are from Fidus and from 5'9". And with members like Crimstyle showing guns on Instagram, they stumble across another Instagram of somebody from Fidus Hoover Gangsta Crip, Khalid Moody, also known as Pooh or Pooski. Now he gets on the Fed's radar all the way back on January 1st, 2024. He posted photographs of rifles, handguns, and shotguns on his Instagram. The Feds say the firearms appear to be loaded with drum magazines and extended magazines. And in a follow-up post on that same day, he puts up a video of what appears to be a woman repeatedly being shot with a firearm. And he captioned the post, "To all them setup bitches." And the feds say that was a warning to trafficking victims not to take money from him or to report to law enforcement. Now, Pooh's gangbanging seemingly stuck out initially the most to the feds. He's dissing the rolling honeys, repping the 50s in his clothes, and they begin to take a heightened interest. But things take a nasty turn for Pooh when the feds allege he trafficked victim 20, victim 45, and victim 46, all who were minors. Now, all through August 2024, they allege he was making multiple attempts to procure workers on Fig, asking women if they had pimps, sending women emojis with the open hands. But between June 2025 and August 2025, when the first indictment dropped, he starts getting his hands dirty with a 14-year-old girl. That 14-year-old girl, victim 45, was supplied a fake ID so that she can rent hotel rooms in her name, despite her being a minor.
This is crazy.
On June 23rd, 2025, Pooh posted on Instagram a missing and exploited children flyer with the photograph of this 14-year-old girl, victim 45. Some weird shit. On June 27th, 2025, he performed a predatory, inappropriate act with this 14-year-old girl. And on June 28th, 2025, he used the 14-year-old girl to recruit victim 20, a then 16-year-old girl, to be his new victim. Shortly after that, he uses the 14-year-old girl again to recruit victim 46. At that time, she was a 17-year-old girl. And he brings them all to the Stadium Inn. He made these little girls share their locations on their phone. And he provided food, shelter, and clothing to these children. And just like other defendants, he was having inappropriate, intimate relationships with these young women. On July 25th, 2025, he instructed victim 20 to go get an abortion. And after she did so, he forced her back into the street on the same day. And if she didn't want to go back outside, he threatened to fire her. But it seems like everybody's not all bad. On July 30th, 2025, on Instagram, another suspected member from Hoover had tapped in with Pooh and told him not to traffic minors because it made the set look bad. Pooh responded by identifying himself as a member of Hoover and asked this individual who tapped in with him what set he was from. And then Pooh responded by saying, "Let the bitch work." In the message, Pooh also claimed that the females were 18, despite him already previously hearing that one of the females were 14. But he also went on to say that once he learned he was dealing with a 14-year-old, he had his homegirl groove her. But even after this conversation, the feds know that he was still dealing with the 3 minors. But around August 2025, he got into a physical altercation with the 14-year-old girl, alleging she stole from him. He ended up physically assaulting her in the Diamond Inn Motel in Inglewood, and everything started falling apart for Pooh at this time. Victim 20 had left, and he tried to recruit her back, but this time he was trying to send her to Pomona or San Bernardino. But unbeknownst to him, Victim 20 had sat down with them people. It's not known how she ended up in that room, but when she got there, she confirmed that Pooh had physically seen a missing child flyer for both herself and Victim 45, the 14-year-old girl. He was well aware that these were missing children and under the age of 18. And on December 11th of 2025, a federal warrant was hit for the Instagram account YSL Pooh. Now, YSL Pooh, like many others, still was active on Instagram. It's still up, videos, pictures, everything. The feds tapped his Cash App, $512 gang. And Victim 20 also allowed them in her Instagram account, and they got into Victim 46's Instagram account. And this is where they also stumbled on Pooh being involved in a sting operation in July of 2025.
Salute everybody. Salute the Sand. Salute.
The Buena Vista Inn Motel, where he thought his victim was meeting a date, and it was actually an undercover law enforcement operation. But the feds didn't forget about those firearms on his Instagram account, and they're utilizing that in the complaint as well. So as I mentioned before, regardless of all these events that have taken place between 2023 and 2024, the feds were watching the Hoovers all the way back in 2021.
Girls, that's Tony Band. Salute.
Ever thought about becoming a teacher?
Hey, bro, this some sick ass shit, dog.
Where you can become a certified teacher.
And I'm gonna tell you something. It's sick.
February 9th.
It's sick. It's sick as hell when it's a regular person doing it as fuck. You know, self-made love the children over here. But it's most sicker when the gang niggas is in control of this shit and all these morals and shit that these people be standing on and all these fades they be taking and DP this and DP that. Nigga, these niggas was pimping out minors, falling in love with them and going back to the set. That's why I couldn't be in no gang in these days. Because that shit's so selective now. Motherfuckers can do this and motherfuckers can do that. Motherfuckers can't do that. Like, bro, I ain't going for it, dog. I just ain't going for that shit. If a nigga don't go hard at gang banging as I do, what the fuck are we in the same gang for? Y'all probably gonna backdoor the shit out of me.
2021 between Lady Duck and J Money. They were pulled over, caught with $9,000 in cash and drugs. 2 days after that, February 11th, 2021, the Hoovers dropped a music video. Treyway, Poke, and Essay Face dropped the Hoovers. It was uploaded to YouTube, and the feds used this as an early introduction to this generation of Hoovers. Along with Essay Face being a part of this indictment, another original player from the first indictment made an appearance in this video, J Money from 11 Deuce. At 1 minute and 17 seconds, they took note of Essay Face's lyrics. The feds alleged that they not only spoke about killing their enemies, but they also spoke about introducing females into trafficking in this song. But Essay Face was not only in communication with J Money, with him being from 5'9", the feds found multiple communications between him and Crimstyle. When they looked through S.A. Face's Instagram account, they found both him and Crimstyle spray painting in the Hoovers. And what really caught the feds' attention is when S.A. Face posted an Instagram video counting a stack of money while sitting in the driver's seat of a vehicle. He posted the caption, "Still pinging, she got a goal to meet," and panned the video over to an unidentified female wearing a short black dress with a brown fur jacket and sandals, pacing the street corner while S.A. Face stayed in the car. Now, they say on January 18, 2024, he sent a voice message to a female known as Victim 35, an adult, and threatened to kill her by shooting her in the face if she didn't up the proceeds. He pressed her to send $1,000 and was caught multiple times coming down on her about some money. Now, as we spoke on previously, he was caught in the car with Crimstyle and one of Crimstyle's victims. The feds also caught multiple communications between Crimstyle and S.A. Face speaking about gang politics on Instagram, who's getting DP, who has the pills, different robberies. And they caught S.A. Face bragging to Crimstyle about clocking $2,200 from a black female that he sent on Fig. Starting on April 14th of 2024, S.A. Face began trafficking another adult, Victim 38, through Instagram messages and phone calls. He told this young lady that he wanted to see her win and that she would enjoy an extravagant lifestyle with him and that he wouldn't use her because he had his own money. And exactly a week later, he sent her the address for the El Don Motel off Fig, and he warned her about how they had to start adapting to different practices because Fig was getting too hot. He sent her a post from one of the original defendants, Hands, about how he was warning other traffickers regarding law enforcement on Fig. But either way, S.A. Face still set Victim 38 down at the Stadium Inn. And on April 27, 2024, surveillance camera caught S.A. Face, J Money, and another original defendant, Jaylon Phillips, also known as Waymo, at the Stadium Inn with Victim 38. The feds alleged that S.A. Face and J Money was sitting in the parking lot and monitored their victims doing their business in the motel rooms. And the feds alleged that S.A. Face was switched from a boyfriend pimp to a gorilla pimp, first telling her that he loved her and turning right back around and calling her ungrateful, calling her a rat, amongst other things. But the feds also caught S.A. Face and Crimstyle in communication with Lady Duck, who is the all-around lead defendant in this indictment. On May 17th of 2024, they were noted trying to buy an assault rifle off of Lady Duck for $1,500, and with dealing so close to some main players.
Now let me remind y'all once again. The first time I read the story on this last summer, dog, the king of the RICO, of the head of the RICO was this girl right here. It's crazy, right? It wasn't no nigga. What was crazy is all the niggas answered to her. All the niggas answered to her. She was known to put the smack down on females too. She locked up on the federal RICO and for flocking, like she got like 20-some flocking cases.
Players in this indictment, Lady Duck and J Money. It was only a matter of time before the feds tapped this shit too. And 3 months after the first indictment, November 25th,
Appreciate
2025,
you, man.
they get a state search warrant for S.A. Face's Instagram account, which is now deleted. Rich Shotta Face. Now, one would be safe to assume that after the first indictment dropped, August of 2025, that most of these dudes would have laid low. They would have kicked back, changed their program up, and maybe try to dodge this superseding indictment. Especially the people that went down in the first indictment. But as we see, it's not.
I'm gonna tell you why they don't stop. Because it's easy money. They don't gotta do shit. It ain't like you standing on the corner with some drugs in your pocket. You have the drugs on you. Shit, they could stand across the street from a girl prostituting all day as long as she don't go to the authorities. They feel like nothing ain't gonna never happen to them, bro. They don't understand that, man. That bitch was that shit was under investigation for a whole year, nigga. For a whole year. They said they been watching these people since 2021, my nigga. And the first round they picked up, bro. And I know you see an Iranian man. Why you think he on there? Why you think the Iranian man is a part of the RICO? I want y'all to tell me, why do y'all think that Iranian man is a part of the RICO? y'all want to know how that Iranian man looked like he's a store owner in part of the RICO? Because he was the person that owned the motel room. All that shit is intertwined together, dog. You own the motel room, you can become a part of that shit. So when you turning your blind eye on shit, even though like the gang might be paying you to do the shit or whatever it may be, whatever, bringing you business or whatever, man, they gonna throw you up in there too, fool, with it, bro. They gonna throw you up in there too with it.
An original defendant, Matthew Brooks, again known as Vermont Star. When he went down in the first indictment, he jumped on the phone at MDC. He called victim 21, which is one of his alleged victims,
stupid,
and told her that he wanted to marry her. And on the federal recorder.
So you telling me that you get caught. So you run to an underage girl while you in jail and tell her that you want to marry her over the phone, and y'all steady talking about some DPs? Man, like, what the fuck is going on the West, man? Like, what's really going on over there, dog? Are y'all niggas using that crystal or something, dog? What the fuck is, like, them perks, man? It can't be that many real perks. Y'all ain't, man, listen, dog. Y'all going crazy over there, dog.
Line. He stated that she could not leave. And then we have Aziz Harris, also an original defendant.
And these are youngsters.
The first indictment, who went by Info, a member of Hoover. His brother, who's not officially from Hoover, but who the feds allege is an accepted affiliate, is LaGrange Lennox, also known as King Blue, in this superseding indictment. When Info went down for trafficking a minor, he called his brother King Blue to take over his feet, and he slid King Blue the number to his minors, and King Blue inserted himself into this indictment. Now,
I just built a budgeting app.
What? How?
Base 44.
Sick,
Look,
man. This shit
pulls
sick.
all our expenses into one place and break.
Now, King Blue had ties to Arizona, and that's where he started, June 22nd, 2024, with a 17-year-old girl known as Victim 39. The feds allege that he tracked her using an iPhone and set her down in a Motel 6 in Phoenix, Arizona. He wasted no time and started to produce inappropriate material with this 17-year-old girl and had intimate relationships with this child.
OnlyFans with minors.
He takes her from Phoenix, Arizona, brings her to LA, and the first spot he takes her to is Stadium Inn, where he then photographs her. On July 4th, 2024, he had an Instagram communication with the unidentified individual where he spoke about this 17-year-old girl, stating that she told him that she was 18, but that he knew she was probably a minor. And he went on to record multiple songs glorifying his pimping. Now, King Blue also had Victim 19, who was an adult, but who he was dealing with on behalf of his brother while he was sitting down. The proceeds from Victim 19 went to Info's commissary while he was in jail.
That's crazy.
The beginning of the
How the feds know that?
Came on January 9th, 2025, when he attempted to recruit two females that he thought were street workers, but were actually undercover police. He approached these undercovers and said that they should leave with him. He promised to teach them how to engage in trafficking. He also told the officers that if they wanted to come with him, they had to pay him a fee of $1,500. And he told them he'd pay for their clothes, nails, and hair. And on March 19th, 2025, law enforcement obtained a warrant for the Instagram account Chosen Pups, which was King Blue's IG. They also got access to his iCloud accounts, and they also extracted data from the 17-year-old's devices. They found all the material that he produced with this child, and it hit the fan for him February of 2025 when he was arrested driving her while she was dressed in a manner consistent with the trafficking victim. Now, the next individual in this indictment came on the scene somewhat late when we talking about the start of when the FBI was paying attention to the Hoovers. But this is somebody that was in heavy communication about the drugs with Lady Duck, also speaking about robberies with Essay Face, and was definitely into Brandon.
I told y'all Lady Duck had flocking, so many flocking cases.
Collie Miller, also known as F3. Now, his first communications in this indictment came in 2024 on February 15th when he was speaking to Essay Face about robbing the house that night.
Matter of fact, now that I think about it, in that last indictment last year, the girl Lady Duck, look, it was said in the indictment that she was dealing with a young girl, and she was like she wasn't no good. She was too young and all that. So the girl said, well, don't worry about it. If she don't do the job right, I'm going to go take her to the essays. I'm going to go sell her to the essays, and they going to sell her to Mexico and sell her organs. That shit was in the indictment paper, bro. It was in the paperwork, bro, that they said that. That when them little girls don't do what they supposed to do, that they hand them out. They sell them to the essays, and the essays sell them to Mexico, fool.
Of one of their victims' clients. But over the next couple months, he's in communication with Lady Duck about pills and lean. But he jumps off the porch with his first victim in this indictment, September 7th of 2024. Now, this is an adult in the paperwork known as Victim 40. And between September and October of 2024, F3 dictated when she worked, when she rested, monitored all her work, and required her to report and turn all her earnings over to him. And he wasted no time branding her. September 8th, 2024, he told her that the tattoo of his brand on her body needed to be big. And later that night, she sends a photo of the branding on her ass. Now, the key thing about this tattoo, he has similar wording tattooed across his chest, which doesn't serve well in this federal indictment. Over the next month, he had many communications with her about how she's to conduct herself on the blade, as well as exerting dominance over the money that was being made. But on January 26, 2025, he's moved on to another victim.
These niggas don't even look like no pimps.
Victim
These
47.
niggas look like
Now,
bums.
this is a female.
Broke
that
ass
eventually
niggas.
will
I don't
become
care how
pregnant.
many chains
And on
they got.
July
Them
4th
niggas
of
don't look like no
2025,
pimps.
He was telling her
Not
that
to
after
me.
she gave birth to his
Not the
child,
niggas I
she
know.
still had to go outside and play
Niggas
ball.
weak.
He stated that if she thought she would not be returning to the track, she had another thing coming. And it's noted that he whooped on her at least twice, leaving her bruised up and walking with a limp. But at this time, he also had what he called a little Russian female, Victim 50. And in a series of audio and direct messages through Instagram, he seemingly got off to the wrong foot with her in September of 2025 after he beat her and she ran off. He spent a lot of time trying to get her back, and when he finally did, he instructed her to get the same tattoo branding as the other female, and it was done. But after the indictment dropped in August of 2025, he was caught on Instagram telling Victim 47 who he had got pregnant, that he needed to get out of California. He didn't want to hide at her place because it would be the first place that people would come looking for him.
They got a minor
But even
pregnant.
after he got spooked, when everybody went
These
down on
niggas
that
be
first
talking about
indictment,
they some
he
pimps.
obtained
Man, these
additional victims
niggas
that
ain't
he
even putting on
trafficked
no
and
condoms,
physically
dog.
abused.
Niggas
Now,
is
federal
sick.
search warrant was placed on his Instagram account, Big 9 Boy 89th Streeter, on March 27, 2026. They ran through all his data from September 1st, 2024, all the way up to March 17, 2026. And he had a run-in with the law January 31st of this year, 2026. Victim 47, the one he got pregnant, was in his car. His iPhone and her iPhone were both seized. And this is where the door started to close on him, where not only did they glue together the trafficking allegations, but they also came to the conclusion that he had engaged in robberies, as well as having access to firearms. Now, one thing that threw everybody off about this indictment was when the worker of the Stadium Inn went down with the Hoovers. Ahir
I
Mukesh
told
Kumar,
you.
also known as Aki, not only worked at the Stadium Inn, but he also lived at the Stadium Inn as well.
I told y'all, nigga. I already know what they got him for. They got that nigga for running them rooms, bro. When you, this is why I'm telling y'all, like you're not understanding, like, that shit, like, just say, like, Adam 22, the way he pay them gang members, and then just think about it. If they go commit crimes and they keep coming back and he paying them, bro, he can be a part of the RICO. That's why I keep saying a lot of people don't realize that Adam got to be talking to them people, bro, because he paying y'all, and just him funding y'all money and y'all committing crimes, dog, that is a RICO, bro. You are furthering with some money, bro. They can point the money. That's why I say, dog, y'all steady going up there. Y'all stupid, bro. Y'all dumb as hell.
We covered the first indictment. The Stadium Inn was the main spot that people were sitting these ladies down in and committing the acts of trafficking. And when the initial indictment dropped in August 2025, one person from that indictment was arrested at the Stadium Inn, and another individual named Xavier Washington, who was not a part of the indictment, or this indictment also went down at the same time for trafficking a minor at the Stadium Inn. The feds ended up executing a search warrant and seized financial records at the Stadium Inn and conducted analysis of guest registration cards. This is when they found that a known victim of the Hoovers stayed in the motel for approximately 100 nights between April 2024 and August 2025 when the indictment hit. They noted that the victim paid cash for the rooms, totaling approximately $13,500. And additional records revealed hundreds of instances between 2024 and 2025 where individuals known or suspected to be victims of the Hoover trafficking stayed at the Stadium Inn. Now, Aki ended up getting in that room and making voluntary statements. He said that the majority of Stadium Inn's earnings are through cash, and he earns about half of all the revenue generated from renting the rooms. He then went on to say that prostitution was common in the area, and he believed many of his customers were engaged in the trade. Now, he denied being aware that minors were taking a part of the trade, but he admitted that many parents have came to that location looking for their children. And he went on to say that he believes 90% of the rooms were rented to people who were in the trafficking trade. But when some of the victims went down and they spoke about Aki, victims 17, 20, 21, and 22 all made statements that they were familiar with him as the manager of Stadium Inn. Victim 22 stated that he had intimate relations with the 15-year-old girl who was trafficked by Keandre Young, also known as Young Poke, another member of the original indictment from Hoover. When they dug into Aki's financial statements, there were multiple signs of concealment. He was going out his way to make sure all his deposits into his bank account were under $10,000. Aki was making some real paper managing the Stadium Inn, and this is why he went down as an accomplice for being complicit in the crimes alleged by the federal government. But as we said before, the feds have brought out a few new charges in this indictment, and one of the charges that holds a lot of weight is the Hobbs Act robbery. This is a federal robbery charge when interstate commerce is affected.
For all y'all don't know, the Hobbs Act is what Pooh is in jail for right now as we speak.
And this was a situation that transpired.
Also, Big U too.
On March 22nd, 2024, with a fan favorite, Darrell Robinson, also known as P4K, from the Baby Stone Gorillas, coming out the jungles, the Black P Stones. But this move was spearheaded by two other individuals that were on the original indictment with P4K. T-John Gray, also known as Tiny 3, or King off Manchester, who was accused of putting motor oil on a female, and Tommy Crockham, also known as Tommy Guns. Now, the feds allege on March 22nd, 2024, Tiny 3 and 5 unindicted co-conspirators robbed LensCrafters in Beverly Hills. Now, this took place during store hours and while employees were present in the store. Tiny 3 and his co-conspirators ran into the store, grabbed designer sunglasses from the stands and displays throughout the store. Tiny 3 was said to have directed the co-conspirators to grab more valuable Cartier products. The co-conspirators broke the glass of the display case to obtain protected merchandise, and overall, they came out with over $150,000 in designer sunglasses and left behind $5,000 of property damage in the store. Now, how this works with the feds, when you have a store like LensCrafters, and it can even be a restaurant, the feds allege that any place that deals in interstate commerce, it can be charged as a federal crime when you rob that establishment. In this case, the details are not fully out yet, but the feds simply can say these designer sunglasses were not manufactured in Beverly Hills. They either came from out of state or even out of the country. And since LensCrafters sources their merchandise from out of the state or out of the country, stealing that merchandise in California affects interstate commerce. This is why the Hobbs Act robbery is a heavy charge added in this superseding indictment. Now, when they jumped out of LensCrafters, they fled in 3 different vehicles. Within minutes of them leaving LensCrafters, Tiny 3 sent the Instagram message attempting to already sell the stolen sunglasses. He messaged one co-conspirator, who was seemingly another getaway driver, and told him to drive faster, and then asked why he driving like that. 3 days after the robbery on March 25th, 2024, Tiny 3 is again speaking with another unidentified co-conspirator through Instagram about selling the stolen merchandise. And this is when he told that unindicted co-conspirator to remind P4K to bring the payment for a pair of one of the glasses. Now on March 28th, 2024, Tommy Guns drove Tiny 3 to another unindicted co-conspirator's location with the stolen merchandise in the trunk of the car. And Tiny 3 left all the evidence in his Instagram account with taking pictures of the stolen merchandise, trying to get it off for sale. And this is just a bad look with an already ugly indictment. Now that's everybody that went down with the Hoovers. But the feds didn't just stop there. Not only did they grab Xavier Washington last August in the initial indictment, they got some neighborhood Crips on here too. Now in a crazy turn of events, the initial indictment on the Hoovers ended up causing a trickle effect throughout the city of LA. A 15-year-old victim, one linked to Keandre Young, again also known as Young Poke, from Hoover, had also been allegedly trafficked by an individual named Colin Young from 6 Deuce East Coast Crip. He goes by the name K2, and he's on an indictment all alone, facing one charge of trafficking of children. Now this all came about because the minor victim, once trafficked by Young Pope, gave up her Instagram account. And when the feds dug through it, this is where they found K2 from East Coast. So on February 24th, 2026, they look into the IG account Deuce BZ62, which was determined to be K2's account. And when they dug through the conversation between him and this minor, he can be seen giving his phone number out. And this is when they got him in the bag. In one message, he asked the little girl if she coming home, which the feds say was him directing her to come back to him. They accused K2 of transporting this child to Fig, purchasing lingerie for her, paying for hotel rooms, and was keeping up with her proceeds. She was calling him daddy. And back on January 29, 2025, him and the minor victim had a conversation about the minor being detained by law enforcement. K2 stated that he was looking for her and noticed that the police were following her. After this, he asked, "Are you really 18?" She didn't directly answer his question. Instead, she advised him that she had frequent interactions with law enforcement due to warrants out for her arrest. Despite this, he still continued to work on her. He instructed her to put his name in her Instagram bio and provided her with drugs and alcohol. And they looked back at all their communication where he was trying to take her off Fig and take her to San Bernardino to work. But everything boiled over for K2 when this minor was sitting in that room with them people, March 26, 2026. During that interview, she was shown a photograph of K2. She identified him as her handler and her trafficker. She told the police his name is K2 from 6 Deuce East Coast Crip. She stated that he initially didn't know that she was a minor. However, he eventually became aware of her age. She stated that she met him through Instagram around January to February of 2025. And this is when she started to get down for him. She said he was starting to become suspicious of her age when she kept having frequent contacts with law enforcement. And she said eventually, like every other situation, he started punching on her. She told the feds that they did have intimate relations. Again, this is a 15-year-old girl. And after that, it was a wrap for K2. Now, despite all the allegations that's been heard up to this point, all the nasty acts that people have been committing, an individual named Kenny Ray Mann, also known as KR from Santana Block Compton Crib, could potentially be the dirtiest player in this whole operation. Now, it's not abundantly clear how he was wrapped up. He's not from Hoover, and he's on a lone indictment by himself. But he was operating around the Western and the Fig corridor in LA. But just days before the initial indictment dropped, August of 2025, in Roseville, California, a 20-year-old young lady is sitting in a room with detectives in the Roseville Police Department. And she begins making statements about the last couple years that she's had with KR. She explains she met KR July 2022, and he was her boyfriend and her pimp. She was 17 years old when she met him, and at the time of the interview, she's now 20. She said it all started in the city of Inglewood. He was a truck driver and stayed close to her mom's house. She said he approached her and they exchanged information. After initially getting to know each other, man introduced her to some weed, and they discussed how she previously has been inappropriately assaulted. He then made an advance by telling her she was beautiful and that he needed to protect her. As he begins to turn her on to the light, he takes her down the Hope in the city of Pomona, and she engaged in the lifestyle for about 2 months in Pomona while still being under the age of 18. She stated that man took her to Pomona because it's an easier blade to work on. It's not as much traffic as Fig, it's not as hectic, and this was to get her feet wet in the game. She stated at first, if she did something wrong, he'd take away her privileges. And after she got the hang of it, he began to fall back, leave her on automatic a little bit, and monitor her through AirPods while she was outside. She stated that as soon as she turned 18, KR turned the volume up. He started to take her to bigger cities, busier blades, and press harder. As soon as she turned 18, this is when man turned into somewhat of a boxer. Just days after she turned 18 on September 22nd, 2022, he choked her with 2 hands.
That's how they get caught, bro. That's how they get caught. This shit's stupid.
Because she was potentially about to leave with another pimp. She then to describe that she ended up still going with some other representation after she turned 18. And the new pimp took her to Fig. Man pulled up on Fig, beat up her new pimp, and charged her $2,200 to get back under his protection. But he took it one step further, a nasty step. He took her backside by force as a form of discipline. And she told police that he held her hands down while he did it. She stated that at one time he beat her so bad she had to go to the hospital. She told him it was that time of the month and that she didn't want to go outside. That's why he whooped on her.
When I was on TFU,
them niggas don't give no slack. These broke ass bums. Them broke ass bums don't give them girls no slack, nigga.
She said other times he forced her to stuff makeup sponges in her body and still perform on the blade during that time of month. He took her to Las Vegas, Arizona, Texas, North Carolina, and always kept her ID. And in that room, she pulled out man's Instagram account for them people, KR Star. She got a tattoo of his initials, Lady KR, on her lower back, and KR behind her ear. The feds put pictures in the indictment, but they blacked them out due to the vulgar nature of KR's offenses. But this girl was not his only victim. Victim 2 in his complaint was another 16-year-old girl. On September 4th, 2025, this 16-year-old was working Western when she was spotted by police. After learning she was a minor, she goes down and into that room as well.
That's great.
She said that she left home as a runaway around August 31st, 2025, weeks after the first Hoover indictment. She said she met another pimp downtown. He took her to Fig, and this is where she met KR. KR began to provide her with drugs, and she started working for him. She described him as a black male in his 30s from Santana Block Crib. But unlike victim 1, she didn't provide his name and his Instagram account when she sat in that room. But she didn't need to, because while she was sitting there, she called him while she was in front of law enforcement. Just like victim 1, she has the same KR tattoo behind her ear. And when they got the search warrant for his Instagram account, he was in communication with another individual named BG Nutty Termite from Nutty Block.
BG Nutty Termite.
He was pimping. He said he needed something, and he tried to procure
BG Nutty Termite
from KR. Now, KR also had a communication with another Instagram user named Coach Mash. This is where he tried to school Coach Mashin on how to deal with minors. He started by discussing pimping and staying away from minors. He went on to say exactly what he did with victim 1 while she was 17 and how he turned when she was 18. He said you don't beat up on minors or threaten them, nothing like that. They the ones that's gonna tell them. You be cool with them, help them out, and get them away from you. But if you do it in a cool and calm way, you don't do it in a rush, especially when you already been doing shit. Just last month, June 9th, 2026, LAPD had a run-in with KR at the Mission Motel in Linwood.
I didn't know it was a way to deceive minors and get them to make money for you. It's a way to do it. Damn, bitch, you got to do it this way? Ah, man, these niggas are sick.
They were conducting surveillance on him and was watching him move and operate. And as you see, a couple weeks later, KR from Santana Block is down in his own lonely federal indictment, trafficking of a child. Now there is one defendant left, allegedly from neighborhood crib, Dejon McDonald Williams, who also goes by Motion or D1. Now I don't have any paperwork for him, but just like the others, he got some cases involving a minor. He's on a lone indictment by himself, trafficking 3 victims two of which
These
were
niggas 23
16
doing
and
this
17
shit.
years old through force, fraud, or coercion. But everybody in the Hoover indictment, aside from Aki, faces a 15-year mandatory minimum, up to a life sentence. Aki, for his role as the manager of Stadium Inn, is also facing substantial federal prison time. But we know if somebody's going to trial, we gonna see Aki on the stand. And everybody that's
Aki.
standalone indictment,
Aki already been told.
KR and B1, they're facing a 10 to 15 year mandatory minimum and up to a life sentence.
I told y'all that
Like
shit
I
can,
said in the first video, everybody.
I told y'all that shit can get you a life fucking sentence, nigga. These niggas be thinking they doing something, bro. That's why you don't do it to no damn minors, bro. You don't do that shit to no minors, bro. That shit will get you a fucking life sentence, bro. Down here in Texas, bro, we don't do that shit, fool. You're not gonna see no 14-year-old girls walking up no motherfucking strip, no bassinet or nothing in no Houston. You just not gonna see it, bro. And if they is, the lady prostitutes gonna run them off. I'm telling you, bro. That shit crazy. Like the nigga said, let them work. Let her work. What? She's a minor. Let her work. Man, come on, dog. Y'all gotta come on with that, dog. That shit's sick, fool. I don't know what to say about that. Like, I don't know what else to say. But, like, y'all got to come on with that shit, fool. Y'all got to come on with that, man. Come on with that, bro. That's some bullshit. Y'all know it's some bullshit. You know it's some bullshit, man. Like, that shit there is whack. Whack as hell to me, fool. Like, y'all feel comfortable doing that, and then y'all still throwing y'all sets up. And then what's crazy, I told you, where the problems come in is when you intertwine two sports together, nigga. You don't see niggas playing baseball and basketball at the same time, nigga. You don't see that. You don't see niggas playing hockey and football. Hey, when you put two sports together, man, that's two separate sports, bro. And with the type of time they give y'all on gang enhancements, y'all want to do that? Y'all really want to do that? Like, y'all were robbing stores and shit still. Y'all was just greedy as hell, fool. Like, how y'all still robbing stores and shit, and y'all got all these girls out here, like, on the blade, man? Can't tell these niggas nothing, man. Can't tell these niggas nothing. Shit, I'm finna get out of here, man. Yeah, I've been a beautiful, beautiful audience as always. Y'all know how it is. I should have came back in the morning when we had more people, but I was bored, shit. I was like, fuck it. I was bored, dog. Salute, y'all.
They just wanna see a nigga off. Fighting case got a nigga running. They just wanna see a nigga caught. Man, they hate to see a nigga win. Jealous praying on a nigga loss. Talking dying ain't nothing good at all. Coming out of these niggas' mouth. Speaking on another nigga, naming on a nigga mind like a nigga's spouse. Main niggas claiming they your friends. Same niggas laying on your couch. Even gotta watch the bitches that you fucking, I swear. They fucking him and you is getting hard to trust them, I swear. Yeah, nigga with an attitude. Easy to say I'm turning into cube. Cold-hearted rude, giving them the blues. Wishing they was in a real nigga's shoes. It's all I'm saying to a nigga. And I ain't playing with a nigga. Mad that a nigga changed, bigger. Pockets fatter and my chain bigger. I ain't changed, I'm the same nigga. I ain't fucking with you lame niggas. I'm staying focused in my lane, nigga. God bless fuck what I complain, nigga. I ain't take a nigga life for it. I just did mine the right way. Still counting on the light day. Bless you, hater, have a nice day. Muddy, how my Sprite stay. Pouring up all the women. Eating good, making dinner. He having mercy on the sinner. I ain't never been a quitter. That behavior isn't in her. Tubman's on me like a printer. Y'all broke niggas injured. Money talking till it hush. Y'all's quiet mind fussing. Niggas plotting trying to touch him. I'm ready for it, tell them fuck. Fuck you.
Another one before I get up out of here. Shit. Let me find this motherfucker real fast. I just sip so much. He say, I've been through so much shit. I need a back rub, man. This some of that Detroit shit, man. This some of that Detroit shit, man. I've been through so much shit. I need a back rub. I love drink so much. I want to act up. Hey, this is that nigga, man.
Digital.
I love you, Marco. Ghetto boy shit.
Fuck the fire. We got grease.
I've been through so much shit, I need a back rub. I love drink so much, I wanna act up. I came home from the feds, ran my racks up. I bought a sandwich bag, it wasn't packed up. I made her count the dog shit, fuck the shellac up. Best words I heard in my life when they said pack up. I went to the feds, slept in a little bed. I would've went state, but the pistol jam. Coach Rio, I'm the whistle, man. I got a platinum plaque with no radio play, you gotta listen, man. You the type to want a nigga hit your hand. Too much dog shit on me right now, I need some different pants. You're not gonna ride me, go try a different plan. Check out my left hand, it cost 60 grand. Jada Coochie, man, I'm the titty man. 100 shots on the PLR, I don't fear any man. I can get the whole house sweat for like 20 So grand. What the fuck you think them young boys gonna do? I drop 50 bands. I love Ricky pants, I love Dickie pants, I love Amiri pants. I like Chrome Heart 2 and Jordan Craigs. I'm a real street nigga, I'm not a Jordan head. She hit me with the head and put your boy to bed. They hit him in his leg, go get your boy a pig. I use this up close, I'ma destroy you. I just recorded me fucking a walk plane. I'm the porno man. Don't text me about no other hoe, I ignore your ass. You heard he got a bag, go extort his ass. Remember calling Bud for a quarterback. Came home from the feds on my shit, I threw a quarter at him. That's 25K. I really made 100 racks, 25 days straight. Boy, he was up close with an AK. They hit his ass so many fucking times, they made him gain weight. Stop asking who I am, look what my chain say. I never even looked on Johnny Dang page. July, I'm popping out. I really can't wait. Like, they let me off this bitch. I'm making $1 million in 8 days. I might just make an M on the first day. Like 250K was my worst day. And all this shit profit. I wasn't rich in the first place. And I never go back to my birthplace. Shark in the pond. They shot him with a 308. They still can't find his arm. She acting tough when she leaves. She gon' cry in the car. I gotta beat Pete everything. I can't die in the car. My distant lover, I'm dying without her. I've been missing my little brother. I've been crying about him. I never put an 8 in a 9 bottle. Can't even stand up straight. I got spine problem. All his life he wanted to hit a lick and he died plotting. All my life I wanted to get rich, so I'ma die trying. That's why I'm rich now, cause I ain't dead yet. I just fuck, but I ain't never got the head yet.
Man, that boy say he'll never put an 8 in a 9 bottle. That nigga said, I don't want it unless that bitch filled up. Man, that nigga stupid, dog. Gone, y'all. Y'all wouldn't understand if you ain't never sipped that oil before, man. Y'all wouldn't even understand that type of chocolate.